QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 Credit Card Reconciliation Month 2. Get ready because we bookkeeping pros are moving up the hilltop with QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022. Here we are in our bank feed practice file going through the setup process with the view dropdown, the open windows list on the left-hand side, the company dropdown, the home page in the middle, maximizing it to the gray area, reports dropdown, company and financial, taking a look at that balance sheet standard. We're going to customize it up top with the customized reports, range change from 0101 21 to 123121, fonts and numbers, changing the font size, bringing it up to 14. Okay, yes please, and okay. Reports drop down again, company and financial, profit and loss, range change 010121 to 123121. Customizing that report with the fonts and numbers, changing the font size up to 14. Okay, yes please, and okay. Reports drop down again, accounting and taxes with the trial balance, range change from 010121 123121. Customizing that report, and then fonts and numbers, changing the font size up to 14. Okay, yes please, and okay. Then we're going to go to the banking drop down, go to the bank feeds center and open up the bank feed center, which will maximize to the gray area. And closing the caret on the left-hand side, we're focusing in on the credit card again. We've entered all the transactions. We did a bank reconciliation for the first month. We're going to do a bank reconciliation for the second month for the credit card, which should be easier given the fact that the beginning balance should roll forward. So if I then go to my bank statement, these are our mock credit card statements that we have here. The prior statement for September we entered last time. We had this issue with the beginning balance that we added. Now, once that's added, the issue should be over. And we're down here at the 75638 was our outstanding balance, which now is going to move forward to the beginning balance for the next month. The beginning balance now should be something that rolls forward. The bank reconciliation should be very easy for the credit card at this time, especially given the fact that most people construct the data related to the credit card actually from the bank feeds, so we might not have any we won't have any in that instance, reconciliation items between the bank statements and our books. So let's go back on over and say, okay, let's open up our caret and let's go to the balance sheet and let's change the dates on the balance sheet and say we had 01/01/21 to 09/30/21. This is where we left off last time, you'll recall, with the 75638. That's our beginning balance, which ties out here at the beginning because we had no reconciling items last time. And now we're going to have the ending balance, which is the 631.77. So if I go back on over and change this date from 10/30/21, and then scroll down, we got the 631.77 for the credit card here, and 631.77. It ties out because we don't have any reconciling items because we basically took the information directly from the banking information with the use of the bank feeds and constructed our books from that. But we still want to go through the reconciliation process just to kind of verify, and what this verifies isn't the outstanding checks and deposits or the outstanding transactions in this instance, because there aren't any, but that we didn't double enter something, for example, or forget to enter something. And so the process should be very quick. After the first one, we just go to the banking drop down, reconcile, and then we're going to go to the credit card, and then as of 10/31, it's there automatically now because we've already done the first one, which is the only real difficult part. We got to enter the ending balance that was on the bank statement, 631.77, 631.77. Continue, and most of the time everything will just be checked off at this point. I'm going to hide everything after the date that we're working in on, so that we only have one transaction. But even if you had like a lot of stuff that's going on here, because if you built this directly from the bank feeds, it should match out to what's on the bank statement because that's where you got the data. So if you hide everything that's going to be beyond the statement date, you can typically, even if you have a lot of transactions, just say mark it all off, and usually it'll be good enough to reconcile. Now you probably want to use this time to actually go through your transactions and check them off possibly individually, because that also gives you another a chance to kind of review your transactions that you're spending money on with the credit card. But it's just in terms of a time saving, how fast should it be? Well, you should be able to just mark them all off because we don't have any reconciling items. We don't have the items that we would expect to see in a full service bookkeeping system on the checking account side, where we write checks that have not yet cleared or possibly have deposits that have not cleared, because we built the whole thing directly from the bank feeds, and therefore you would expect it to reconcile and not have any reconciling items, no outstanding checks or deposits, in other words. So we're going to go ahead and reconcile. Let's reconcile. And I'm not going to write a check or enter a bill at this point in time, so I'm just going to say, no, I don't want to write a check or a bill. Neither one, because I'll do an electronic transfer maybe at a future point. Then we're going to display our statements. Let's go ahead and say, don't show me that again. Por favor, customize up top, fonts and numbers. Changing the font size, bringing it up to 14. Okay. Yes, please. Okay. So we have our beginning balance. This basically matches our bank statement now. So the 756.38. And then we got the 124.61, and that matches the 124.61 for the ending balance of the 63177. 63177. Here's the new transactions down below. We don't really have any reconciling items because no outstanding checks or deposits due to us getting this information directly from the bank, in essence, or the financial institution, whatever you want to call it. Here's the more detailed bank reconciliation that gives us some more detailed items. But again, there's no real reconciling items, so we don't have any real difference. If you did have any reconciling items like outstanding checks or possibly a payment that you made that had not yet cleared the statement or something like that, then you would want this report, because it would show the detail of those reconciling items, whereas the summary report will only give you like the summary of the total things that are outstanding. We'll see that possibly more on the bank statement. Actually, we may not, because we're going to take the bank statement information directly from the bank feeds for the most part as well. But we have some information on bank reconciliations in general. So if you want to dive into just bank reconciliations in more detail, you can take a look at some of that courses. So I'm going to close this back out. And so there we have our second bank reconciliation. For the credit card, fairly straightforward process. If I open up the caret, then again, we're going to go down to the bank feeds. Now we're going to go back next time, and we're going to start going back to our checking account, and we'll add some more of these transactions. We'll look at bank rules, and we'll also do bank reconciliations for this account at the end as well, after we've entered the transactions, the rest of these transactions as well. We'll also take a look and see if we can get PayPal. We're thinking about getting PayPal and see if we can update that information to get the interplay between it and possibly the checking account.